Welcome back to the Fantasy Sports Network. It's none other than Nando DeFino, Tony Cicada here, live from Fantasy Sports Trade Association. What's better than this, Nando DeFino, live from Fantasy Sports Trade Association in New York City?
There's not much better. We're going to up the game, though. Christie Sullivan, newly minted president of Kountermove.com. Congratulations. How's it feel?
Thank you so much. Feels great.
Do you burn all your old business cards like a president now?
Yeah, I don't. I forgot them. I don't know where they are. I should burn them, but
that's the best part.
It's a fun way to kick it off, being here. It's fun.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Yeah,
or did you mean the conference in general?
Yeah.
Not this table with me and Tony.
Right here, you and Tony. It's actually why I came.
Oh.
Yeah, just to be here and talk fight.
Well, look, we do a bunch. Fantasy Sports Network, obviously, Fight Network, owned by Anthem Media, Anthem Sports Entertainment.
Yep.
We've crisscrossed paths so many times. Kountermove with a K, Kountermove.
Yes, Kountermove with a K.
We had a guy on our radio show from the Sirius 92. Remember the fight guy?
Yeah.
And I think it was like DraftKings had just done the MMA, and he's like Kountermove.
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool how you can both kind of coexist in the space. It's people know that DraftKings is big. Kountermove is small and like dedicated and passionate, and you talk to like Robin Black. He's like, I love Kountermove.
Yeah.
Give us like a minute on how awesome Kountermove is.
Kountermove is awesome. I'm going to start with the team. The team is absolutely, like you said, a team who is dedicated to it and a team of experts. We are all martial artists. The two founders are black belts in jiu-jitsu. I am as well. So we just love fighting, and our whole site and experience is for the combat sport. So not only do we do MMA on all organizations in MMA, but we also do WWE, boxing, glory kickboxing, professional jiu-jitsu. If it's combat sports, we're doing fantasy games for it.
Yeah, actually, I had the opportunity to interview the Iron Sheik, which we put on Kountermove.com, and it was the greatest interview I've ever had in my life. I've got to interview a lot of people, but the Iron Sheik knocked it out of the park.
Heck yeah, he's awesome. His one-liners alone, he's a good dude, and he does play on Kountermove.
There you go. See, I've played and I've gotten smoked. I don't think I know enough about MMA yet.
Yeah.
But I think it's all right. UFC, awesome. The wrestling thing, I think, is no one else has the fantasy wrestling.
Yeah.
How did you come up with the scoring for that?
So we have, surprisingly enough, there's actually a lot of WWE fans who watch MMA and vice versa.
Yeah.
I actually think there's more crossover there than even boxing, surprisingly. So with WWE, we got a lot of feedback from hardcore MMA media, like writers and media who had input for us. They're like, this is how you can do the game. You can do it even better this way. We had tons of just fans who are in the WWE world or MMA, and they just gave us input, and we had we had them go over the scoring and put points for like big moves and like ladders and if you get pinned on the rope, and it's just hilarious. Like all the names for everything is fantastic, and I think it's already an entertaining experience watching a WWE event, and then if have the fantasy experience with it, why not? And WWE well, you know what's going to get you those points, right? So
I love foreign object points.
Yeah, foreign object. Yeah, those can get carried away. It's pretty colorful.
You know what's really interesting with you being a black belt in jiu-jitsu? Do you think you could get in WWE and get maybe in the Diva division and make some havoc?
Are you planting seeds, Tony?
I think you should go all the way. I mean,
Eve Torres is pretty smoking. I miss her, but I just think that overall, it's a not a place to be. I could probably throw some folks. I haven't had a lot of practice with ladders, but I think I could do some like throwing hip tosses and scrap with the girls. That'd be fun.
It's not all about ladders, though. I haven't watched wrestling in a long time.
I see a lot of ladders.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time I didn't see someone come out with a ladder and like flying eagle off it.
Yeah, we just finished the whole Money in the Bank invasion there, where you had to get up the ladder, you get the little suitcase.
See?
And then it guarantees you a shot at the title, Nando. You got to get back to your roots here, and you can excel at Kountermove.
I kind of got off at like WrestleMania 6-ish.
Oh my, yeah.
I don't know.
The fact that you were even there makes you legit, though.
Oh, I wasn't there. Like,
I mean, like, you're in that era.
Oh yeah. It's I remember the Hulk Hogan Andre the Giant WrestleMania 3, I think it was, when he turned heel. That was crushed me. Anyway, enough about that.
Enough about that.
Let's talk more about Kountermove.
Okay.
So what's the plan now for Kountermove going forward? How are you going to target UFC fans? You're going to try and target like the general audience of people who maybe like fantasy football, know there's UFC fantasy but don't know where to play, and you got to be like, hey, come to us.
Yeah.
We got the people.
I think the answer is both. You know, it's such an untapped market for the UFC, MMA fan base, fight fan base in general. You know, traditionally these are newer sports in America and the world, actually. You know, and MMA is a global sport, but it's also a new sport. You know, NFL, all these brands have organizations have been around a long time, and fantasy, in whether it's season long or daily, has been around longer than them. So the answer is both, because I think that it's totally untapped for the MMA crowd, and it's totally untapped for the DFS crowd. You know, they mostly use the stick and ball sports, football, baseball, basketball. But you know what? There's other ones coming out that are heavy hitters. No pun intended. MMA.
Well, let me turn that around. Have you thought about wading into someone else's and be like, you know what, we should try NASCAR? Or are we just going to
No.
we're fights. We don't want to mess with anything else. We are Kountermove with a K.
We are Kountermove with a K. You know, I think that's what we're good at. You know, do we have the skill set to do the other stuff? Sure. You know, but we know what we're good at, and we want to be the leader and stay the best at that across the board. Whether it's having the best pricing of fighters, having the best user experience, and just the whole experience of playing on the site, and overall to remain the leader in that sense. Yeah.
That's why Chick-fil-A don't serve hamburgers.
Yes, Tony.
You know what, Tony? I'm sorry, I had to ask. I felt it was a smart question.
You know, one of the things that we've seen with FanDuel and DraftKings is they've been the official sponsor from the NBA, Major League Baseball. Have you guys at least approached the MMA representatives to be the official sponsor for MMA events?
So, you know, as we know with FanDuel and DraftKings, that's not totally indicative or necessary of success of a site. So although it's wonderful, and I think it's great that you have players doing, or organizations teaming up with these other leagues, it's a good thing, but it's not necessary for the site to thrive. So, you know, we are a scrappy company, and we have definitely built a lot and I think that overall, those kind of partnerships are good, but I don't think indicative for FanDuel or DraftKings or even Kountermove to thrive and be the best in a particular sport on their site.
I like the Kountermove people are, to a person, so nice. You're super nice. Brian always writes these nice emails. Like, geez, you know, I think it says something about the people who are like really nice and run the sites.
Yeah,
it kind of shows on the site.
Thank you.
Some of the other sites we deal with, not so nice.
Oh, no. We hate them. Everyone who's come before you, we hate.
Oh, okay.
So here at the convention, are you learning stuff from the panels? Are you picking out new numbers? You'd be like, oh, we should, take a look at this.
Yes.
34%. What's your male-female breakdown on Kountermove?
You know, that I think it closely parallels to just the general trends, which was probably 1 in 10, 1 in 5, depends on what site or sport. You know, I think that's probably the case on our site as well. We've looked at the metrics, and I want to say it trends around the average for fantasy in general. It's probably 1 in 10, maybe. I mean, what do you ish?
Yeah, well, that sounds about right.
I would say it's 10 to 20. I would love it for it to be more. You know, honestly, I think that I'm going to make a reference back to the UFC, but historically, girls are not part of certain things growing up, and fighting is definitely one of them. Maybe playing fantasy sports is another, because of that. You know, sports, it's inherently sports-based, right? So UFC didn't have a women's division. Then Dana White finally was like, I'm going to embrace this. I have the woman to do it, Ronda Rousey. They created a division. She's the champion. Defended her title multiple times, and now you have women across the world training and striking, wrestling, judo, jiu-jitsu. I have a huge women's team now. It's a totally different space than 10 years ago, and I hope that daily fantasy is the same, and there are women who know what they're talking about, can take other women under their wing and teach them from a young age, or to just get in all this. It's good. It's good for the whole system, not only for them individually, but the sport and sports themselves.
When you say, oh, sorry, go ahead.
It's interesting. I was just going to throw in, with her being a black belt in jiu-jitsu, and I never really seen, what that's like. Do you mind standing up and letting her take a shot at you and see, you're a big guy, see if she can knock you down in one shot?
The answer is yes.
Tony, how about you do this instead? And I'll get out of the way. No,
the
please.
answer is yes.
Look, this is Tony's idea. Let me get out of your way. Here we go.
Okay.
There we go.
Who's going first? No. Tony, that's amazing. No, it's okay. Just embrace it.
Chris. All right.
Okay. So this is Nando.
Yes.
Close enough.
So you're going to learn the rear naked choke, where you're going to feel it.
Thank you.
Okay. So basically, your arm, you're going to hold your opponent with one hand here to keep them secure and close. This one's going to come close down here, and you want your elbow to come just below the chin. And then you're going to put your hand on the inside behind the elbow here, and it's going to come nice and tight. Then you're going to pretend like you're combing his hair, and then you're going to squeeze your elbows to your ribs.
Oh, my God. Oh my
How does that
God.
feel?
That's totally different than what I used to do with my brothers.
How is that?
That was wonderful.
You know what's amazing there is
Tony,
I
it actually said.
I think she
Yeah, I got started?
Yeah.
Good. I went light,
All right.
too.
Thanks.
Just kidding.
Thanks so much.
I'm just kidding. I had to tease you. I did not. That was full 100%.
Countermove with a C. Make sure you check it out. Now, Christie, before we hit the break, for people who are listening, people who are watching, is there any kind of code if they go to Kountermove to get like any bonus or get in a league or anything
Well,
like that?
start one right now. What do you want it called?
I love Tony.
Ooh, I love Tony. Okay, I love Tony will be the bonus code you can get. What do you want it to be? 25, 50%?
Yeah, 25 is cool.
25% deposit bonus. I love Tony.
And if you don't love Tony, you can use I love to New York. It'll be the same thing.
Yes, and no spaces, okay?
Yes, no spaces.
Because we're gonna get a lot of customer service stuff. It has to be. I love Tony. No spaces. You can. I'll make all caps, low caps, whatever. Just don't space.
What
it.
else? Hey, we got the president of Kountermove. What else can we do here? This is too easy. We like his face on all the. No. Christie Sullivan, president of Kountermove, just announced today. Congratulations!
Thank you so much.
Thank you for. Is this cool? Is this the trick?
Yes.
Thank you for joining us. Continue coverage of the Fantasy Sports Trade Association Summer Conference here in New York on the Fantasy Sports Network after this.